but awesome. So we have front-end pairing. We're going to try to continue this mock Apollo helper merge
Yeah,
request.
yeah. Tori, do you want to describe the general problem we have here?
Yeah, I think, well, the general reason why I opened this issue is because opened the merge request is because I modified, um, I think view code that was calling a GraphQL API, and I didn't realize I needed to modify the GraphQL file. So the variables are just silently dropped, and I thought the issue was fixed. And I think I was a little surprised there was no testing to prevent that from happening. Like it's really easy to miss. So I asked Paul, is this possible? I don't do front end work very often. Like, how can we have a test to catch it? Um,
So we
because
were.
it clearly got missed by
Mhm.
2 people during review. And maybe they just made the assumption that I had the change there already, or that it was already
Mhm.
defined. Like it's not
Mhm.
anyone's fault, but
Mhm.
um, yeah,
So
it's too much to keep on your head. So I need a
oh, yeah,
test.
definitely. The more tests there are, the better. So we were passing extra parameters that weren't handled by the GraphQL query itself.
Yes, the GraphQL, once I updated the files, everything worked perfect.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But and
Cool.
adding like end-to-end tests is not, it doesn't seem feasible to catch this everywhere. It will
Mhm.
be too
Mhm. Mhm.
much, too slow. So I'm hoping we can inject something that will catch new failures, at least give someone like a,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, I need
Mhm.
to fix this.
Cool. Yeah. As far as I understand this, last meeting we had a couple of ideas, and it says 3 ideas, but we actually have two. Where was that? Where was that? So yeah, we actually have two problems. One we spin off on that meeting, and it's ch about checking the required variables, and I
Oh,
think
yes,
we'll
we did
put
talk
this
about that. That is
to.
like
Yeah,
not,
that's a separate.
let's do that later.
Yeah, not in the SMR. Then we are left with one problem that handlers should be only called with real variables. And we have two solutions here, two approaches, let's say, as far as I understand it. One is to return to to test only, um, how to say that, only defined variables.
Yep. So that if somebody, I guess that's the approach that
Mhm.
Paul had suggested we work on, so
Yeah.
that if someone writes a test that says, I'm expecting these variables to have been passed to the mock
Mhm.
GraphQL, whatever, it fails. And then they will be like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Um,
Um, and I think on the last meeting we it was IP who suggested that we kind of write and expect here, and I'll explain the difference
Mhm.
right now. So let me find some boom boom boom. So success, why is it success? Um, all right. So for example, we call for a imagine we call here the API, and we return um, we call the mock Apollo, and the our wrapper would pass only properties that were defined on the query to the mocked function,
Mhm.
and this is the mocked function. And then we just check if the um, if the parameters we filtered match this object. So basically, we call mock Apollo handler. Our layer filters out only existing params. Here we check if if those params match. The issue here, from what I understand, and that's what IP highlighted last time, is that if under the hood, the component, and where is the component? This one is. So if under the component, we actually pass here something.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like
Mhm.
you're writing tests, so you miss that. You write the test
Yeah.
with and it's still doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Or
So if
maybe like passing things that are being ignored.
yeah, and so in the test we don't check this something. With that approach, we wouldn't see a failure here because we filtered the params only to those that exist on the query. And this would drop the something.
Yeah. So
And
then you have code that's now basically like dead code, but no one knows.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I think if there's another approach where we can raise an error
Yeah,
when
yeah, that's
something has been called
mhm, mhm.
with something that's not defined, I think that would also like the end is still the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Mocha Polo would do a little bit more here, like raising exceptions if something was called with extra.
Mhm.
Um, and that's the second suggestion I
Okay.
had raise an error if the handler was called with
I think
non-existing
like that
terms. Mhm.
error might provide better feedback to developers because then
Yeah.
the message could be very clear and then
Mhm.
it would, I guess my thing is I don't want people to not understand why the test has failed and maybe just go fix the test instead of realizing that
Mhm.
like the GraphQL thing is not right. So I don't do
Mhm.
front end
Mhm.
development though very often. Clearly, I made a mistake. I was doing it for this
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
sometimes when it's small, I'm like, I can do this.
Mhm.
Um, is it easy to raise an error in jest like that in this like mocking
Um,
thing?
It would be easy, but I have the same concern that the error would be raised within the specs, but it's actually related to the component itself. So it's kind of a bit
Yeah.
wider. What we could do, we could there are two things we could do. One is I think this is the working code more or less that IP wrote, and I'll need to check this. Um, what we could do, we could write an expect here and actually fail properly, or we could console error here, um, and give proper description. And I think our current setup fails on errors. So we not fail as if we were a spec, but we fail to the console that there is something wrong, and that could be a hint for developers
Yeah.
to fix the original problem. Right. Let me try to understand what IP wrote here, and oops.
Oh wait, this is a future thing. Filter, controls.
Are these two blocks the same?
They look the same, I
I
think.
think I think that's the same. All right. We
Yeah,
can
is
get
this
yeah.
one is the required piece? Is that why it says this is a future thing?
Could be. Yeah, I think we might have started to work on the second approach, and it could have been the drop for that. So what we want to do, and as far as I understand, so query variables is something that we get from the query definition, and
Yeah, I think that when we
mhm.
were looking at it in the debugger, it has everything about the variables, what they are, like the type, the required or not, the
hmm
name.
hmm
Um, and I think just even a simple implementation of if we find any variable passed in that's not in the query variables. So maybe instead of like
Yeah.
filtering the arguments, we don't filter it, or we do something, I don't know what's the best way, is
hmm
like if you filter the arguments and it doesn't equal the query variables.
So let me think. Uh, if object is a object key, so we check all the and we check if all the args. So this is the args passed to the function, as far as I understand it. And every key, um, and we check that every key there should have um, his own, and I want, I don't know, so we check that every key from the arguments passed to the handler, which is the view thing. So every that key is in the query variables, and we need to mount that on variable name. So if not, then we throw missed something,
Yeah, I think we probably
something
don't even need to
extra.
do the filter
Mm.
arguments piece then, because that's just filtering
Mhm.
it. If you look at the code, that's like kicking everything out that's not known. I'm like pretty sure.
Was it something you did on the within this
That's on
MR,
the
right?
MR. Yeah,
Right,
it's a new
right.
function. So maybe that what you wrote could be a
All
new
right.
method in there that's like instead of filter arguments, could be like validate arguments. Do y'all put the
Mhm.
bang on stuff when it throws exceptions, or is that a Ruby thing?
Uh,
Like, I don't know.
when the
Like
function has exceptions
when
or
the
this
function
one.
has exceptions in Ruby, you
No,
can put a
yeah,
bang on the end, and that
yeah.
way you can know. No, it's not a front end thing.
I'll ask it's not in the JavaScript
Okay.
plan
Then
because
let's not do that.
yeah.
But you could write like a
Oh,
validate, or like you could write like a validate method that throws it, or you could just do it in here. Um,
mm, not
I
sure.
don't know what all the stuff in this GraphQL AST helper is.
Yeah, I haven't checked that.
So we could put the method in there if we wanted to, but let's see
Yeah,
if we can get it working in here first, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
move into that method, not method, into
Um,
that file. Um,
okay, so we have something that might fail. We don't know. So we have a file, we have a test for this,
mhm.
and we'll run this test. And I just run that. I don't know what that means. We didn't, did we return? I don't know. Let's scroll up. But it hasn't been called, but we also threw an error. Did we record the error anywhere?
I don't know. There's so many failures. Um,
The logs. I think it exists. Let's not just throw and be good with that. Let's see what it gives us. Yeah, it just says that the original function wasn't called, but the throw didn't record for some reason. Um, expect, let's write that we expect. So we want to expect these to be false. And that function definitely wants some optimization, probably. We'll get to that later. Don't need that now. And I'm leaving the rest the same as it was before. All
So
right,
now they're
now
all,
not in heaven. Do we have the oh, we have this.
oh, so that's fine, right?
Yeah, we'll see now. Let's
Okay.
let's cross the fingers.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I still think, I guess
Mhm.
what's hard is like with all of this mocking going on in the just tests, are you controlling what's being sent or is it testing like what the file is doing? That makes sense. I don't know.
So
Um,
the jest would run the as far as I understand it. So we'll have the mock Apollo stuff. Where is this? Um, we'll have the mock Apollo set up with the handlers.
but when it like creates the
Mhm,
component, is that like loading that view file up and then whatever
mhm.
that view file has defined is
Yeah, so
okay.
it would run the mock it would mount the view
Mhm.
with the mock Apollo as a handler for those functions that use
Okay.
Apollo.
Okay.
So it would execute the real view
The
file
code.
code
Okay. So this
with our mock.
why didn't it fail?
I mean, it testing the right thing even. The
Change
destination.
delete modal view, delete destination. Um,
Because I assume that we have delete and delete there, delete here and delete there,
yeah.
and um, let's just say that we have been calling with this with something this pause. All right, that's because we are filtering things out, right?
Yeah. So basically, can we look at that filtering code and
Hmm,
see
hmm.
if maybe that can be copied into here? Because that somehow is detecting and removing variables. Um, so it's almost like if you take the method, like the code on line 109 to 111, that is, it looks so similar to what you have. Because the first arg variable is the args 0. If I look
Hmm,
at line 101 and try to understand what that's
hmm,
doing.
hmm, hmm.
And then I don't know dot sum, what that means on line 110, is that like some sort of,
Some of the elements of an array match
so it's like,
the command. Mhm.
yeah, so grab the ones where it's true, but it won't be all of them. Is there like a dot all? Like, I don't know. Yeah, because I feel like this is somehow kicking where, um, in the code where we're trying to test it out, where are we getting the known variables from? Is that, oh, we're passing it in, so we have it. Okay, query variables. We
So
have it.
yeah, I assume this is also from the as the helper that we get the query
Yeah, that is from
variables.
the helper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and give me a sec. I'm slow with this one.
Oh, you're
Um,
fine.
we pass the args, and we probably want the. This is a list of arguments, and the first element of that would be and the rest of the args. Anyway, yeah, the first of the args would be the list of an object, probably an object. Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Mhm.
line, so this thing, the known variables dot sum is doing a triple equals, and the
Mhm.
other one is slightly, the other code, it looks like, is it building an array and then checking that the key is included in the array?
Let's go line by line. So
Okay.
this is non-variables. Why do we want to? All right, this is non-variables. If you don't have non-variables, we return if the arg's length. All right, so this is no ops. The first argument would be the params we pass to the functions. I don't know what's the rest of that is. So these are the pass to the GraphQL object that we want to verify. Um, if it's not an object,
If it's not an object, maybe it was like null or something, or there was no arguments passed, you just give it
yeah.
back?
Why not just args?
Yeah,
We
I don't
just
know.
yeah. Anyway, so this is still no op if the first argument, I don't know,
Yeah.
is something not suitable for us. Then what we do, um we
Object
list
dot entry.
all the keys, all the entries pass to the GraphQL,
Mhm.
and
And then we filter.
we filter only those that are on the query.
So me, it's almost like I want to make 109 a like a Boolean and have that thing be like,
Mm.
we have all the arguments. Is all of this stuff true? But I know how to do that in Ruby. I don't know how to do it in JavaScript. Is
Uh,
it possible?
I'm trying to understand what's the next thing we are doing with these. Oh, so we filter only
So
those.
this
All
is
right.
like
So
grab
we
only the
filter. Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
exist, and
Mhm,
then I
mhm,
don't know what object that from entries is, but that like
mhm,
makes
mhm.
it some sort of
I
object, and then
mhm, mhm.
I guess the last line puts it back into an array.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So first we transform from an object to an array.
Yeah.
Then we filter this array only to those entries that are in the query. So we transfer key value pairs from an object to an array of key values. Does it make sense? So we have yeah, oops. We have an object. Sorry. And we transform this to I don't remember the structure. Maybe it's key value. I think it is like that. And the same for the and then we filter. and then we put it back into an object. And this does what it claims to do. This basically filters out only those that are on the object. We just yeah, let's leave this like that.
Okay.
We probably want another approach that we just discussed, but I'm not sure why
Yeah, I guess
it's
I don't
not
understand the
proven.
difference between what that thing is correctly
Hmm.
filtering things out,
Yeah,
but what does so line 39 through 40, so we're
yeah,
looking at that's the first piece object.keys arg0 that is like the same. But
yeah.
what does dot every do?
So yeah, what we want to do, and let's delete something. Um,
Oh wait, but we wanted it to be that says expect it to be false. But that should be true.
yeah,
Maybe that's why it passed, right?
give me a sec.
Mm.
We should improve this code definitely. Every
Okay.
key.
So maybe we type out what is so we have this like argument, right? We have this like keys, and we're gonna look at every key from there.
You
Okay.
want me to pause?
No, 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 keep going. I'm just trying to like brain myself through this thing.
Oh, I'm not returning from here. Why didn't I? Um,
Oh, you have to return it?
that's a JavaScript thing. I don't know if anything
No,
would
in Ruby,
be
it's like
different.
it
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
assumed. But my
yeah.
question was, do we want
Mhm.
that to be true or false? Because I think we're
Uh-huh.
expecting it to be false.
Let me check this again. So we check all the keys from the what we pass to the GraphQL, and we say that every key there should be included in the query. If it is included, oh yeah, we want true. I think you're right. We say that yeah, there, I think you're right. Let's save this. Um, all right, now we are failing and failing a lot. I don't see this properly reported. That's what bothers me. So it just says that it has never been called.
Just from that one thing?
Mhm.
Mm.
I think the this expect throws an error, so
It's not
it's
being handled.
and yeah, we I think this throw isn't being handled properly, so it's just
Okay.
ignored, and the result just says that hey, we haven't been called. Oh yeah, we have no, we don't have
What is that else
person.
from? If array of handlers. So instead of the expect, can you throw an error like that?
I
That's like if it's not.
mhm. I tried it. I think it leads to the same thing,
Oh,
and
really? Okay.
and that's probably why I had the false. No,
I trust you. I should have come to
if
the last meeting, but I was having
no, no, I think we brainstormed on the required properties and kind of tried to figure out how to do this properly. And we can have like 5 more minutes to try to code this, and then we'll take this, I think. And I have a suggestion for this
okay.
that I wanted to discuss. So yeah, so if not, oops, if it doesn't,
Mm. Then you can
let's
throw
just
an exception with something.
yeah, yeah. All keys are in. And then we'll write this like if it's Ruby. And that's
We
total.
don't have to write it like in Ruby. I think it's
That's
gonna make all
totally
the front end people
that's
sad.
totally subconscious. I'm sorry about this. We can cons comment this out, and we say that if not all keys are in query, we throw Let's throw an error.
I can read JavaScript. I just don't know all of the rules and regulations.
Yeah, it's a free land, I think. Not all blah blah.
I guess
Uh,
like I would say like
mhm,
not all arguments are defined in the GraphQL file, but I don't know if that makes sense to a person that's working on GraphQL more than me. We have
uh,
one
mhm,
GraphQL endpoint that we just added for my team. Everything else is
mhm,
not is the other way.
mhm, mhm.
So like I guess the error message for me would need to be I would want it to be helpful for someone who's not as experienced with GraphQL. If
Not a
and we can
fail.
ask Claude for help to word it nicely. Maybe
Yeah.
that would be my suggestion. I've been using it to
In
help me
the
write dev docs
I I
because I
haven't
tend to be
used Cloud.
quite brief, and the dev
Mhm,
docs
mhm,
need to be a
mhm,
little
mhm,
bit
mhm,
more
mhm,
less brief for
mhm.
people.
I haven't used Cloud. I'll ask you
Oh, yes.
to teach me here. In the GraphQL file definition.
Yeah. Definition sounds good.
Definition. All right. Again, I think this wouldn't
Same error.
register
Yeah.
properly. Let's
You
try it
get
again.
like this thing was expected to be called and it wasn't
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's what we'll get. Yeah. This
Well,
is not something we wanted to do, and I'll look in the more detail. And I don't know how to properly throw from here. I have to look deeper into this. Um, promise result. Oh, maybe it's promise reject. Wouldn't be it automatically. Let's try. Return.
I would encourage you to try Claude out. It's not that bad.
I would love to. I've
In
been
your spare
trying.
time.
Yeah, I've been trying GitLab Duo for some stuff.
I
Mainly
feel like
with.
I've watched it get a lot better, the
I
chat
mean,
inside the editor.
I'm super bad with Ruby, and I tried to use it to kickstart me on Ruby, and because I'm super bad there, yeah, it was already useful at the start for
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah. I've been trying to get some CI pipeline stuff working, and
Mhm, mhm.
it's been helpful, but I'm also feeling quite inexperienced. Um, okay, so still,
Yeah, I think
maybe like things
we
didn't work, and that somehow that
yeah,
row is not being floated up
yeah,
for people. So I'm gonna ask Claude. I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna see.
to
Um,
do to do may fail here. Um, because let me plug the power adapter. Give me a sec.
oh yeah. Oh, your battery's unhappy.
So if we just keep
Oh,
this,
can you
mhm,
do
mhm.
an expect dot fail instead of throw new error and give it the message?
Expect what to
Yeah, just
fail.
do an expect dot fail instead.
I think
This
Claude
is what
means.
Claude said to
Mhm,
do.
mhm. I think Claude means that we should expect. Um, I don't know what to fail. So there is a syntax and like expect
It just says expect dot fail with a text. Does it let you do that?
expect dot fail.
Uh-huh.
What?
Is it hallucinating?
I think so. I
Oh no,
expect.
I'm using
I don't
something.
know. I haven't used this. I know that there is a expect uh function to fail, something like that. So when we pass a function that we expect it to fail. Let's uh let's try to Google things.
What is this? I'm Googling.
Expect
I'm in
to
the adjust
fail.
docs. It's hallucinating. This is the problem with using these tools, because for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, I don't know if this is right or not.
maybe to throw. Expect,
So,
yeah, so we pass it a function and we expect it to throw.
um,
Was it in line with Claude advice?
yes, kind of. After I told it that dot fail doesn't exist, it was like, oh yeah, I was wrong. That's like try.
It's
I don't know what that is.
it's so maybe yeah, but
I I
again,
think we're so close to getting something that's like functional.
mhm. Yeah, I think most of the work was done by IP and Paul in the previous call, um, and I saw that you had many iterations there. I haven't contributed much here, but I think yeah, if we fail, if we manage to fail here, I think this is what we want
Um,
properly because if we comment this out and we run and we um, remove this and we don't have this. And in the code, we call the extra param, but we don't mention it in the spec. The spec should pass. So that's the issue. We don't want to filter the extra. We want to
yeah.
explicitly fail somehow.
Okay.
Um,
Also, we definitely
mhm.
want to push up what was done here,
Oh yeah.
and then we'll keep hacking away at it.
Yeah, I think if we find a way and I will remove the
So
extra
basically, the
promise.
goal is to find a way to put some sort of expect failure that floats up so that
Hmm.
someone
Hmm.
running the test gets an error.
Hmm. Um, one thing I wanted to discuss with you, give me a sec. Understand what I want to delete. This is the one. So yeah, what I want to do, and I saw that you did a lot of uh,
Oh,
fixes for the
test.
failing specs. Yeah.
Yeah, that was questions I left for people because Paul was like, let's just fix all the tests. And I was like, is that right? I don't
Uh,
know. That doesn't
yeah.
feel great,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like it's essentially this test is testing something that isn't happening.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. Like the test as it is isn't a reality of what is being called,
Hmm.
on the back
Hmm.
end.
Hmm.
So I don't know what to, I think I pinged a few people who had touched
Yeah.
these
Yeah. I
things,
saw
and
that.
the
Hmm.
ones that we touched were maybe ones where people were like, "This is okay."
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Uh, I was worried that it could be a super large MR that would be frightening to merge, and maybe we
yeah,
could be missing something.
the
So,
other
mhm, mhm,
option is to like we could add some sort of thing to the ones that are failing, some sort
mhm,
of
mhm.
like skip this check.
Yeah, yeah.
And within each one of the, like my idea was, because that made me nervous. I really don't want to change these tests. My idea was to like add a skip
Mhm,
and create either one issue for all of them or multiple issues for each, and then put it in a comment
mhm,
like to
mhm,
do,
mhm.
and then maybe that has to go to whoever owns that file.
Super, yeah, I'm super
Because like
aligned with this. Yeah.
ideally, I always want to catch future issues more
Mhm,
so.
mhm,
Like, yes,
mhm,
we might
mhm,
have some existing issues that need to
mhm,
be validated, but like
mhm,
the smaller I can make this SMR, the better chance it has getting merged, and then
mhm,
there's like
mhm,
less chance
mhm,
people will
mhm,
introduce more bug.
mhm.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely. I had this same thought last meeting.
okay.
Maybe we could have an
Like a skip
yeah,
check
yeah.
or something that gets passed
Mhm,
somewhere where you
mhm.
can bypass it.
Yeah, I was thinking of something like we when we create Mocha Polo and we kind of create a deprecated Mocha Polo and we use only these in failing and we say that to do fix this C issue for details and we
That's great.
actually yes leaned it against it.
Oh, so like you can't use the deprecated one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Um,
Okay.
so that way we could change all the specs that fail, but we
Yeah.
wouldn't be,
We won't be changing what they think is
yeah,
happening, so
yeah,
someone
yeah,
has a chance to look at it and review
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And
I
we
think that's
create
fine.
an issue or multiple issues for this. Yeah,
Okay.
one thing left to figure out is how to properly fail from here.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, and I'll post some update on the issue to share what we did.
That's great. And if I have time to work on this, I
Mhm.
might push some changes up, but I don't
Cool.
always. So we'll see. I've been fighting with release process and CI pipelines and I just want to get that working right now.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
But this was
for
great for
yeah
pairing. So thank you
yeah.
so much
Thank
for
you for bringing
um
this up.
yeah, and we'll put both of us on it. We'll tootle along together on
Mhm,
it.
mhm, mhm,
Um, I'll see if I can implement any of this. I mean, I think the deprecated mock Apollo, mock whatever thing
mhm,
is a good
mhm,
route. So maybe
mhm,
that's a good first step is to like make a commit that creates that deprecated one,
mhm,
remove all the extra code from it, and then
mhm,
update all the specs with a to do, and then like we can do the issue thing later.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, this sounds
Cool.
good.
Yeah. Still before we create any issue, we need to figure this out how to throw
Yes,
properly.
that
Yeah.
is the next step,
Cool.
the hard one
Yeah.
that I don't know if I
Yeah.
can do, but we'll try.
Yeah. We'll try. Thanks,
Okay, maybe
Terry.
I see you in next week pairing.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll try to.
Yeah, I think let
Yeah.
me double
Go.
check my calendar. Yeah, I'm here next week. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. We'll iterate on this and we'll figure it
Okay.
out. Right.
Sounds
Thanks, Terry.
good. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Yeah. You too.
Bye.
Bye.